our pursuit of progress, there's one thing we often ignore: the power of ancient wisdom. When we lose sight of lessons from the past, we're forced to relearn them, usually at a greater cost. Nowhere is this more evident than in the teachings of ancient Persia, a civilization that reached remarkable heights through tolerance, innovation, and a commitment to values that seem strikingly relevant today. Let's explore how overlooking Persian knowledge not only limits us but also amplifies our modern struggles. Let's start with an act of tolerance that reshaped history. Cyrus the Great, known as the liberator of empires, demonstrated a level of respect for diversity that's often missing in today's world. When he conquered Babylon, he didn't impose his beliefs on the people he ruled. Instead, he freed the Jewish people from captivity, allowing them to return to their homeland. And he declared, "All the peoples of my vast empire are free to choose their own gods. Let no man destroy the temples of others." In a time when rulers imposed their own beliefs on others, this was radical. Cyrus's tolerance wasn't just about religious freedom, it was about respecting the humanity of every person in his empire. Imagine if today's leaders adopted this approach, prioritizing respect over division. With so many modern conflicts rooted in religious or cultural differences, Cyrus's example is a reminder that peace is possible when we honor diversity rather than fear it. Moving from the ideals of tolerance, let's talk about leadership, a concept deeply explored in ancient Persian wisdom. Artaxerxes I, a king and father, once shared timeless advice with his son. "Remember, my boy, power is a double-edged sword. It can build empires or destroy them. The choice lies in how you wield it." Artaxerxes understood that power isn't inherently good or bad. It depends entirely on the hands that hold it. In today's world, we often see leaders who wield power recklessly, causing harm rather than progress. Artaxerxes' words remind us that true leadership requires balance, not force. Imagine if leaders today held power with this level of responsibility, using it not to control, but to uplift. Artaxerxes' wisdom is a call to every one of us to remember that power without accountability is a path to ruin. Beyond the wisdom of leadership, the Persians were masters of innovation, creating solutions that addressed the pressing challenges of their environment. Picture this: an ancient civilization surrounded by scorching deserts, finding a way to store ice. This wasn't magic. It was the Yakchal, a domed structure with a deep underground chamber designed to keep ice cool even in the heat of summer. By harnessing natural ventilation and insulation, the Persians created a cooling system that was both effective and sustainable. Today, as we grapple with rising temperatures and energy demands, the Yakchal serves as a brilliant example of how ancient solutions can inspire modern technology. Imagine cities that could cool buildings naturally, reducing reliance on energy-intensive air conditioning. The Persians mastered this balance with nature, a lesson that we desperately need to remember in our era of climate crisis. Now, let's look at humility, a lesson even conquerors could learn. When Alexander the Great reached Persepolis, he stood in awe of its splendor. Overwhelmed by the Persian architecture and engineering, he is said to have admitted, "I have never seen such opulence." Yet, despite his admiration, he ordered the city's destruction. This act illustrates the tragedy of valuing conquest over preservation, a lesson we've repeated throughout history. Alexander's decision to destroy Persepolis wiped out centuries of cultural achievement, architecture, and wisdom. How often do we make similar choices today, sacrificing the old for the new, rushing to replace rather than preserve? In our relentless pursuit of progress, Alexander's story reminds us that the past holds knowledge worth saving. Sometimes, true strength lies in recognizing the value of what already exists, rather than simply conquering and discarding it. For the Persians, honesty wasn't just a virtue, it was the foundation of effective governance. Darius I, known for his administrative brilliance, once advised his court, "A lie has short legs. It doesn't go far before it must sit down and rest." He understood that honesty is essential in leadership, that lies only lead to chaos and mistrust. Imagine a world where leaders valued truth over convenience, where transparency was prioritized over manipulation. Today, misinformation often drives politics and society, eroding the very trust that holds communities together. Darius's wisdom challenges us to remember that lies, no matter how small, weaken the bonds of society. His words call for leaders who recognize that real power doesn't come from deception, but from the stability that truth brings. Persian innovation wasn't limited to cooling systems or governance. They also devised one of the world's first sustainable water management systems, the Qanat. This intricate network of underground channels transported water across arid regions, allowing cities to thrive in harsh landscapes without depleting natural resources. The Qanat was a marvel of engineering, channeling water underground to prevent evaporation. In a world facing water scarcity and climate change, the Qanat system is a model for sustainable water management. Imagine if we adopted such methods today, designing systems that respect natural limits and ensure resources for future generations. The Persians' wisdom wasn't just practical, it was profoundly sustainable, recognizing that true prosperity considers both people and the planet. Persian wisdom also extended into the realm of spiritual growth. Zoroaster, the founder of Zoroastrianism, taught his followers that good thoughts, good words, good deeds are the keys to a fulfilling life. This principle wasn't just a slogan, it was a way of living that emphasized integrity, compassion, and accountability. In a world that often prioritizes competition over kindness, Zoroaster's message is a call to action. Imagine societies built on these three pillars, where each person strives to live with purpose and respect. Zoroaster's words remind us that greatness isn't measured by power or success, but by the goodness we bring into the world, in every thought, every word, and every action. We have the power to shape our world for the better. Finally, let's talk about ambition, innovation, and the courage to push boundaries. Xerxes, despite his military failures, left a legacy of engineering achievement. When his engineers constructed a pontoon bridge across the Hellespont, Xerxes declared, "At last, we have tamed the sea itself." This bridge wasn't just a military strategy, it was a testament to human ingenuity and the desire to overcome natural obstacles. Imagine if we approach today's challenges with this spirit, innovating not just for convenience, but to create solutions that benefit humanity as a whole. Xerxes' bridge stands as a symbol of what we can achieve when we dare to innovate, to push beyond the limits of what we believe is possible. So, what can we learn from the wisdom of ancient Persia? Each lesson, from tolerance to innovation, from integrity to spiritual growth, offers a path forward, a way to address the challenges we face today. The Persians understood that power alone is empty without accountability. The wealth means little without contentment, and that true progress honors both people and planet. When we disregard these teachings, we're forced to repeat the mistakes of the past, often at a higher cost.